This first DIY is my daughter's first wreath that she's made, and I'm helping her a little bit with this. She's going to go ahead and put the eucalyptus garland onto the wirework wreath, both purchased at Dollar Tree. Now she'll begin putting on the fabric roses. She's going to only place 3. Savannah decided to add in these cute little fairy garden characters to the bottom of the wreath, and I think they look adorable. So I'm using this heart wreath wire frame. I'm going to be adding multiple picks, but I changed my mind about the eucalyptus, but I will be using all of these floral picks that are in this box. So I started clipping my roses off, not the greenery, I'm not using the leaves, so just the flowers. I started with these pink ones, darker pink, and I just wrap them around each and continue with the lighter roses underneath this frame. So I used all of the pink ones around the top section of the wire, and I just wrapped them halfway down on each side. This was a really time-consuming project, so I thought I better speed it up a little bit and hyperlapse this. It wasn't easy wrapping the roses around the wire, but I reinforced each one with glue When that was complete, I started in with the blush roses and I began to wrap them in the next row down on the wire of the form. I also brought two of those darker pink roses down the middle a little bit to define the heart. I didn't want it to lose its shape as I worked, and so I had to keep adjusting and moving roses at the top and bending them towards the middle because they had a tendency to want to pop out to the sides. I also used a pink felt heart form that was just a decoration for the wall to back this project because I felt like it just had a lot of little gaps here and there, and it would have taken so many flowers to try and fill the entire form. So it kind of helped fill it in. And I just continued to add in those blush roses until they came to a point at the bottom so you could see it. Then I also took some of these pink berries, or the pink berry garland I should say, and I wrapped it around throughout the wreath and reinforced it with glue here and there just to make sure that it wasn't going to move. I also put some baby's breath in between here and there just to add a little something to it. I think baby's breath always makes everything more beautiful and just gives it that final touch. I used some of these floral picks that I picked up at the dollar spot at Target, or the bullseye section, and I also put some of those in just to complete the look. It looks really pretty so far, but still needs something else. And so after I completed the baby's breath, I decided I was going to add in some of the berry garland to the top to use as the hanger. So I just wrapped it around the wire on the top on each side, and I thought that would make a pretty kind of finishing touch for the hanger, and it seemed to hold well. I also added in this pink tulle wire. So this video kind of went out of order because it showed there already, but I just want to show you how I had looped it over and looped it over. I'd say I did it probably about 6 or 7 times, and then I wrapped it around to make a sort of bow and just pulled it apart so it was fluffed out like a circle before I placed it on the inside of the heart wreath. And then you just kind of want to puff it out a little bit so it, you know, has a full look to it. And I glued that down. Had to do a little adjusting here and there to get it to puff back out after I glued it down. But the end result was very pretty. The Sweet Shop framed art project was really simple. I used this old piece of art that I had from Dollar Tree that I didn't particularly like, so I knew I was going to upcycle it. And so I started by picking out some items that I found from the bullseye section at Target. This little wood heart. I didn't even want to paint it because I like it white against this brown. Kind of gives that brown paper bag look, you know, to it. I took the corner pieces out and then glued them down, and then glued my heart from the jute ribbon to the top, and then just glued it back down on top of these wood pieces to secure it. So it looks like it's hanging, but it is glued down. And these other pieces that I'm going to be gluing onto there are really cute. They were in the dollar section of Bullseye, and they were wood food for kids. So the whipped cream I thought would be really cute on here. And then I also used those little wood pieces to glue these in so that they had a three-dimensional look and they're kind of popping out. Next I put on the hot fudge sundae or malt, whatever that is. And now I'm going to just take these stickers and I'm going to spell out sweet. I was going to glue them down, but they were sticking so well. I started to glue the first few and decided I was just going to stick the rest down because it's not that big of a deal if I had to redo it at some point. And it came out really cute. I like that lettering. I then took one of these foam hearts that has the little rhinestone that I got at Dollar Tree, and I glued that down. Now I took some of that pink berry garland and I just cut the little berries off, and I'm going to use those as sprinkles and place them just around the inside of the frame to give it that kind of candy look. And I think it came out really, really cute. I started out by painting my platter with the Waverly White chalk paint. I'm going to go ahead and paint the front, and then I will let that dry and come back to paint the back. I also painted this smaller tray that will go on the top of this tiered tray decor, and I'll have to come back in and paint the back of this one as well so that it is opaque. Now I go in and put another coat on the front of the large tray because I felt like it wasn't completely covered. And then I finish up by painting the back and then also painting the smaller top tray. I had to use some foam to fill in the space on the candlesticks because they were not flush, and my first attempt they didn't stick, so I had to go in and put this foam in and put a lot of hot glue on there to get it to stick. When I started adding in my things to the tray, I noticed that it was crooked, so I had to remove it and do it over again, but I just went ahead and kept this footage in here so you could see how I was placing the items on the tray. I did go ahead and add quite a few more items after I took the pic, so I will also put that in at the end of this compilation. For this project, you're going to need to pick up this plastic small barrel that has this wood look to it. And I used the Waverly White chalk paint to paint this barrel, but I painted the bottom just a solid white, and I knew it wasn't going to be seen, so it didn't really matter how it looked, but I just did that anyhow. Then I went in with a dry brush and I dry brushed that Waverly White onto the sides of the barrel. It gave it this nice kind of distressed look. I wanted to add something to it, so I ended up using my pink acrylic paint to go over the white paint, and I dry brushed that as well, and it came out so pretty. I just wanted to add some extra Valentine's factor to this project, and I think that really did give it that Valentine's look. I started to add in some of my greenery. I first placed some floral foam at the bottom of this planter. This greenery I had from last year that I used on another project. Then I had these styrofoam sparkly hearts that had leaves on them. They were supposed to look sort of like little roses, and I added those in. I also had those from last year. And again, I wanted to use these pink baby roses that I picked up at Dollar Tree because I thought they really looked pretty placed in that dark greenery. And then also these pink fabric roses and the white baby's breath just really put the nice touch on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my plaid pink ribbon all the way around the top of the barrel just to give it an extra little touch. I really like the way this project came out. When I finished up with the ribbon, I added a tag with one of the chalkboard tags that I picked up at Dollar Tree as well, and I used my white chalk marker to write love on that tag. And I then added this cute pink little gnome that I bought at Hobby Lobby. And I think it came out absolutely adorable.